Welcome to AJ Akshar Academy YouTube channel. In this session, I am going to discuss electric charges and fields, charge distribution. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Please share your valuable comments in the comment section. Okay, let us go to the today's session. First, now charge distribution. So first one, uniform charge. When a charge is not accumulated in some parts but is spread uniformly, here the charge is spreading in a uniform. Now next one, non-uniform. So here in this, more charge is accumulated at the curves and sharp points. So observe this diagram carefully. Here these distribution of charges more accumulated at the curves and sharp points. Okay, next, charge density. So it is a quantitative representation of charge distribution. Density nothing but mass per unit volume is known as density. So that is mass by volume is equals to density, or density is equals to mass by volume, mass present in a volume. So now this is the charge density, that is equals to charge by volume. Charge present in a volume is known as charge density, that is charge by volume. Charge density, now I will discuss types of charge density. There are three types: linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. So these are the three types of charge density. So one is linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. Now linear charge density lambda, that is charge per unit length. So charge per unit length is known as linear charge density. So linear charge density lambda is equals to Q by L. Now for a rod, so this is the rod and of length L and charge Q, then lambda is equals to Q by L. Now I'll discuss for circular ring. So for circular ring, here taking circular ring of radius r and charge q, then lambda is equals to q by, here length of the ring is equals to 2 pi r. So lambda is equals to q by 2 pi r. Lambda is equals to q by 2 pi r is the linear charge density for a circular ring. So lambda is equals to charge on small element by length of element. So lambda can be written as dq by dl. So lambda is equals to dq by dl. This is the linear charge density. Now discuss units. Coulomb per meter. For charge units, coulombs, length meter. So units is equals to coulomb by meter. Now dimensions. L inverse, m0, t power 1 and I1. This is the dimensions of linear charge density. Or you can write as m0, L power minus 1, t1 and I1. Okay. Next. Surface charge density, it is written by letter sigma. Charge per unit area is known as surface charge density. So a surface has only area. So sigma is equals to Q by A. Q charge, A nothing but area. So now for a disk, here radius is R. Now we are considering a disk and the disk radius is R and charge Q, then sigma is equals to Q by area of the disk is pi r square. So sigma is equals to q by pi r square. Sigma is equals to pi r square is the surface charge density for a disk. Okay, next. Sigma is equals to charge on small element by area of element. So sigma is equals to dq by dA units, coulomb by meter square, and its dimensions L power minus 2, m0, I1 and T1. Next, volume charge density. It is remember letter rho. This is rho. So charge per unit volume is known as volume charge density. So a sphere has a volume. Rho is equals to Q by V. For a sphere, this is the sphere considering having a charge and radius r, charge q. So rho is equals to q by volume of the sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So rho is equals to q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. This is the volume charge density. So rho is equals to charge on small element by volume of element. So rho is equals to dq by dv. Now discuss units. Coulomb by meter cube and its dimensions L power minus 3, m0, I1 and T1. So this is about the volume charge density. Rho is equals to q by 4 by 3 pi r cube and units coulomb by meter cube and its dimensions L minus 3, m0, I1 and T1. Okay. Charge density. See this table. Linear charge density, surface charge density, volume charge density. Example, rod. Here relation lambda is equals to q by L. Units coulomb by meter and its dimensions L power minus 1, m0, T1, I1. Formula is lambda is equals to q by L. General formula is equals to lambda is equals to dq by dl. Here complete we are discussing about this rod and this is the linear charge density. Example, relation, units and its dimensions, formula and general formula. Okay, next. Surface charge density. For example, here we are taking disk. So sigma is equals to q by A and its units coulomb by meter square and its dimensions L power minus 2, m0, T1, I1 and its formula is sigma is equals to q by pi r square. And next sigma is equals to general formula is dq by dA. Next to volume charge density. Here we are taking sphere, example sphere. So rho is equals to q by V. So this units is coulomb by meter cube. Its dimensions L power minus 3, m0, T1 and I1. Its formula is rho is equals to q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. And its general formula is rho is equals to dq by dv. Now discuss MCQs. Surface charge density is denoted by lambda, rho, E and sigma. So surface charge density is denoted by sigma. So option D is correct. Second one. The units of linear charge density is coulomb by meter and coulomb by meter square, coulomb by meter cube and coulomb by meter to the power of 4. So unit of linear charge density is coulomb by meter. So option A is correct. Next. The dimensions of volume charge density are L power minus 1 m0 T1 I1, L power minus 1 m0 T1 and I square. So L power minus 1 minus 2 m0 T power minus 1 and I1. So last one is L power minus 3 m0 T1 I1. So the dimensions of volume charge density are L power minus 3 m0 T power 1 and I1. This is the correct option. So option D is correct. Okay, next. Now discuss forces between multiple charges. Now, forces between multiple charges. The mutual electric force between two charges is given by Coulomb's law. So, how to calculate the force on a charge where there are not one but several charges around? Now, discuss. Consider system of stationary charges. Here we are considering system of n stationary charges q1, q2, q3 and so on qn in vacuum. Now, what is the force on q1 due to q1, q2 and so on qn? So, Coulomb's law is not enough to answer this question. So, recall that forces of mechanical origin act according to the parallelogram law of addition. Experimentally, it is verified that force on any charge due to a number of other charges is the vector sum of all the forces on the charge, and that charge due to the other charges taken one at a time. So, the individual forces are unaffected to the presence of other charges. This is termed as principle of superposition. So, here we are representing the individual forces are unaffected to the presence of other charges. So, this is termed as the principle of superposition. Now, consider a system of three charges q1, q2 and q3. The forces on one charge say q1 due to the two other charges q2 and q3 can therefore be obtained by performing a vector addition of forces due to each one of these charges. So, this is the here we are obtaining the force on one charge q1. So, thus if the force charge q1 due to q2 is denoted by F12. Next, F12 is given by even though other charges are present. Now, thus F12 is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r12 square and r12 cap. In the same way, the force on q1 due to q3 denoted by F13 is given by F13 bar is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square 13 r13 cap. So, which again is the Coulomb force on q1 due to q3 even though other charge q2 is present. So, thus the total force F1 bar on q1 due to the two charges q2 and q3 is given as F1 bar is equals to F12 bar plus F13 bar. So, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square r12 cap plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q3 by r square r1 cap. Here is no equal, only plus. Okay. Next, the above calculation of forces can be generalized to a system of charges more than 3 as shown in figure. The principle of superposition says that in a system of charges q1, q2 and so on qn, the force on q1 due to q2 is same as given by Coulomb's law. So, it is unaffected by the presence of other charges q3, q4 and so on qn. So, the total force F1 on the charge q1 due to all other forces is then given by the vector sum of the forces F12, F13 and so on F1n. So, F1 bar is equals to F12 bar plus F13 bar plus so on F1n bar, that is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r12 square r12 cap plus q1 q3 r13 square into r13 cap plus on so on q1 qn r1n square r1n cap. So, this is can be written as q1 by 4 pi epsilon naught sigma n I is equals to 1 to n q I by r square r1 I square r1 I cap. So, the vector sum is obtained as usual by the parallelogram law of addition of vectors. All of electrostatics is basically a consequence of Coulomb's law and the superposition principle. Now discuss MCQs. First one, a charge Q1 exerts some force on a second charge Q2 if third charge Q3 is brought near the force exerted by Q1 on Q2. So, is it decreases and increases, remains unchanged, increases if Q3 is of same sign as Q1 and decreases if Q3 is of opposite sign. So, a charge Q1 exerts some force on a second charge Q2. If third charge Q3 is brought near the force exerted by Q1 on Q2. So, it remains unchanged. Now, next one. Two charges are placed at a distance apart. If a glass slope is introduced between them, then the mutual force between the charges increases, decreases, remains the same, becomes 0. So, two charges are placed at a distance apart. Now, we are introducing a glass law between them. So, the mutual force between the charges decreases. So, the force is decreasing. So, second option is correct. Okay. Thanks for watching this video.